All right, so we're starting a new project today, and it's not a very big job, but it's got a lot of details. So the overall scope of the job is we're going to be widening out the driveway so these guys can get in and out of their garages a little bit easier. To do that meant we had a whole row of bushes right in this area that we just had to rip out and so that we can widen out the driveway. And then in the backyard, we've also got some more work that we've got to do. We're going to be removing all of the river rock, or actually it's not river rock, it's just decorative rock from around the house because it's just getting old and full of dirt and you can never really clean it. And then in the backyard, we're going to take it a step further and build a brand new retaining wall. So we're going to get all that done by the time you're done watching this video. So let's get on it. So our Bobcat mini excavator's out on another project, but we needed to keep going on this one, so we ended up renting this Whacker Newson mini excavator, and it's a pretty good little unit. Now, make sure you guys stick around because we're going to be doing a lot more job site videos for you guys. Today you're going to see this project from start to finish, and I got another one already in the works. So every job has a surprise, and here's ours. This is the frost footing. It's about 3.5 feet higher than where it's supposed to be. And so to actually get our block to fit flush up tight against that wall means that bottom block we're going to have to actually notch around that frost footing so that we can get good, just a good tight fit for our wall up against the foundation. So when we're building a retaining wall, we divide the construction crews into two separate categories. One is the basing crew, and then two is the building crew. Now the basing crew will usually be a 1 or a 2-man crew. That crew's sole job is just to lay down that bottom course, which is the most critical element and probably the most time-consuming part of the entire construction process. We'll have one guy that just knows how to base, and a second guy will feed that person blocks. Now in a small retaining wall like this, we may have that second person that's feeding the baser blocks also start to build the retaining wall as well. But when we get on bigger projects, that's when we'll really have 2 or 3 guys. All they'll be doing is just building and backfilling retaining walls, while 1 or 2 other guys are still continuing to try to base and get ahead of them. When they start to work in tandem like that, that's when you can start to get the most production out of a job site. So you're just going to burn up the dirt on site instead of...
Some of it. We might have to haul some of it out.
Okay.
We still got backfilling to do with it, and yeah, get its grade set.
So this is the Rose Creek Blend Versalock standard unit. Nice unit to work with, makes curves radius for a solid block. It will still make a pretty decent tight inside and outside curve. Plus is, what's that?
6 foot radius inside is what
they say?
Yeah, so that's about as tight as you want to get it before you get the block kind of above it, overhanging below it, or just goofy looking.
What'll happen is, so the blocks are supposed to have a setback in them, but if you make your radius too tight, it creates a vertical face which brings everything forward when they're supposed to actually be pushed back. So we still have a lot of detail work to do on the retaining wall, and we're going to show you what that is in just a moment. But while Tim is working on the retaining wall and getting that wrapped up, the other guys are going to be starting to remove the rock from around the rest of the site.
You're gonna yell at me if I start coming up towards the house. You're gonna have a stroke.
He would. He would. He would. So that's kind of like.
I barely ever worry about anything. Whatever.
Uh-huh.
Never worry.
Yeah, Tim. Technical Tim, never worrying about details, right?
Never.
Nope.
Never. Honestly, you might just be able to hold the spot.
So some of you might be asking, why don't we just go right into the rock and scoop it up with the skid loader? Well, if you look right above his hands, that's a CMU, a concrete masonry unit block. Those are hollow core foundation blocks. And if we push too hard on those, especially if they've been in the ground for 10, 15, 20 plus years, you can crack and break them really easy. So we don't want to put any pressure on the foundation and do any damage, so a little bit of extra labor is needed to pull everything away. Even on a small job like this one, there's still a lot of actual hard work that goes into it, and I just want you guys to be able to see some of that. What we do when we're talking with the customers, understand that not everybody can afford to have a contractor like us come in and just completely transform their yard from start to finish. So a lot of times what we'll do is we'll offer to do the toughest parts of the job and kind of leave things for the customer to be able to take over and do some of the work on their own later. For instance, removing this rock is not easy work, and you can see why here. And we'll load this up in a dump truck and haul it away and prep the site so getting it ready for the customer to be able to do what they're comfortable with.
So getting a lesson in caps from
Yep.
Tim.
So you get your distance. I usually go about to the first knuckle, and you get it all lined up, and now you got your spaces. I measure the distance.
Another thing that we do is flip the last block over on step down so you don't see the pinholes. Let me
that
show
last
you.
one's the wrong way. You'll see those going up the wall, but if you flip them over, you notice how they go away at the end. So it gives it a more finished off appearance.
So this one's flipped upside down, and you can see where the pinholes disappear. If he caps this, you're gonna see that underneath.
So just those details, and you can get as fancy, but this is gonna look just fine the way it is. So right now, the way I'm doing it, I'm just measuring the distance to the gaps, and then you shave that off. But the problem I'm gonna run into here is when you do cut, you're cutting you gotta be pretty skilled with the saw to cut that and keep it straight. So another way to do it is just cut into it more. So I've seen it done a couple different ways, but as long as you can just match this and cut that and then slide it over, but then I'm not going to have the right overhang on here, so I might have to cut a piece in here. You never want your little chunks at the end. You always want a bigger cap, because kids will walk down the wall and you got glue on a little tiny chunk, and it can get pulled off easier. So more solid, you take any of your smaller cuts and put them in a little bit. That's lesson number one, cap cutting. Oh, these things never work quite right, ever. Anybody ever have any luck with these? Even on new ones.
You always get the leak, the bypass?
Well, I just never get it to snap in there very well.
Maybe it's dunked up with dirt.
No, I've had it on new ones too. It's just I always have a hard time with them.
Well, I think I cut the wrong side, maybe. Look at that. There's just wafer thin. Wafer. Hey, can you make that cut any tighter?
Looks all right. A little bit at the top there, but it's not bad. I'm sure somebody online will have a problem with it.
Yeah, you know it, man.
Never do anything good enough for anybody.
Oh yeah.
I always know more than everybody else.
As they sit in their basements and yell up to their mom to fix them a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and that their mac and cheese isn't hot enough.
So if you got the money, one of them wet saws is the way to go.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
not even wet, it's just they got the vacuum, it's a dry. You ever see those?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those are fancy.
Yep. Those are nice.
And they can cut through a full block.
Yep. Actually, Makita has a battery powered one.
Be fun to try one out.
Yeah.
I left a little bit of a
That's about as tight as you're gonna get without any spacing in the back. So this is what we're eliminating, is the gapping back here. Otherwise, guys, we'll set these, put the faces flush, and then an outside corner. Let's just show them. Go ahead, set that cap. So this cap either doesn't line up, or if you get the front of it to line up, now you're getting that gapping back there. That's why you cut them.
guess the places that I've been. You never guess the places that I've been. 'Cause everything is like a dream, yeah, but only in that dream that I live in. I'm never gonna let the day begin. Never gonna let the day begin. 'Cause everything is like a dream, yeah, but only in that dream that I live in. Oh, don't wake me up before you go. And
All right, you guys, we are done with this project. We have transformed this backyard. We still got to pick up, but let's go take a look at how this job turned out. Now you'll see this backyard still looks barren. That's because there's more construction going on all around the house, and it didn't make sense to put cedar sod down just to have it wrecked. So here we've got all of the rock cleaned up, pulled out, and this wasn't a big wall, but you can see where we've already changed and improved the grades enough right here. Let's take a look at these caps. These caps drove Tim nuts. So you can see exactly how he's got every single one of these caps. What I want you to see is the offset of the caps. We've got equal amount of offset on the ends, and you can see how we put the slivers into the inside. So here's the sliver. So he put this sliver on the inside, furthest point inside. That meant this cap, which was custom cut to go up against that wall, had to be recut. Then he cut this one. You can see how he cut this one. He cut this one to end up with this one right here. Same thing down here. Boom. Smallest part on the inside. And that gives you the same amount of offset. Well, you can see it 1, 2, 3. Right there. Well, I hope this video has helped you guys out. You tell me in the comments down below. I don't know if you can see me, son, you know. Tell me what you think of it. I'm going to try to do the best I can to do more job site videos. So if you guys like these, come back, because you're going to start to see these every single week. I'm going to go out to different job sites, and we're going to start documenting what we're doing as well as we can from start to finish. God bless you guys. Go get them. And check out these other 2 videos I'm going to put right up here. See you on the next one, you guys.